What up, family? It's Pastor G. We had an incredible time at Network of Believers today. This is a Sunday, March the 24th. Now, I wanted to share this with all of our network family abroad. We have deemed this Wealth Week. Wealth Week. And so I'm making this video to solidify and give you the grounds, give you the foundation on this week being Wealth Week. I am speaking exponential acceleration in finances and in prosperity. Yes, we are beginning Wealth Week. And so I wanted to add something too. I'm going to do a slight message really quick to solidify what we're entering into when they call it Wealth Week. This is Isaiah chapter 54, verse number 14. Isaiah 54, verse 14. I want you to do homework. I want you to study this. I want to read it. I'm going to get some commentary. I'm going to unpack. And then you study it and let God feed your spirit in this Wealth Week. This is the beginning of something incredible. It says, in righteousness shalt thou be established. Thou shalt be far from oppression. For thou shalt not fear, and from terror, for it shall not come near thee. Now, this text starts out by saying, for in righteousness thou shalt be established. Now, let me unpack that. We taught Second Chronicles chapter 16, verse number 9. God talked about a perfect heart. And then he gave us the definition of what a perfect heart is. A perfect heart is when you, as a child of God, trust God for everything. You never go into any situation or challenge without trusting God. And as a matter of fact, you never go into any challenge trying to figure out how you're going to overcome the challenge. That's a perfect heart. A perfect heart is you trusting God to bring you through every challenge, no matter how large they are. You trust God to be your source. And so now when the text says he's going to establish me in righteousness, what he's saying to me, he's going to establish me back in the position where I trust him for everything. He's going to supply. You're going to know that without a doubt, he's going to supply all of your needs. In the book of Deuteronomy, I think that this is such a powerful passage of scripture. Deuteronomy chapter number 8, verse number 18. But thou shalt remember the Lord thou God. Interesting. Thou shalt remember the Lord thou God. In other words, don't forget about him. Don't start into something that you have forgotten about your God. Every situation that you encounter, don't forget about your Father in heaven. Don't forget about your real source. Don't forget about the one that can save. Don't forget about the one that's got unlimited supply. Listen to the text. It says, but thou shalt remember the Lord thou God, for it is he that giveth thee the power to get wealth. Remember, he's got the power and he's willing to give you wealth. Why is the question? Watch what the text says. It is he that giveth thee the power to get wealth, that he may establish his covenant, which he sware unto thy fathers. Notice that God's desire to give you wealth, the reason why he gives it, this is a covenant. This is a covenant agreement. This is how you know that he has a covenant with you, is when he gives you the power to get wealth. What are you talking about, Pastor G? This is something that God has established for you. This is how he established his covenant. This is the sign of his covenant with you because you're a child of God. A covenant means that he's in agreement with you getting the wealth. This is how he established. He says, don't you forget this. In other words, no matter what you're struggling through, no matter what you're going through, don't you forget. This is his covenant agreement with you that he gives you wealth. Because you have children. You don't want them to be around here begging. Why would God want his child to beg? This is how he established. When people see you, they're going to know that you are a child of the Most High. Why? Because he's going to establish that by his wealth. This is wealth week. Now it says, in righteousness shalt thou be established. Thou shalt be far from oppression. Your days of being oppressed, your days of not enough, it's over. Everything that has oppressed you, has gotten the power over you in your finances or any other area of your life, the text just says that is over. Watch this. It gets more interesting. It says, for thou shalt not fear. For those of you that are feeling these nervous moments, you don't know what's going to happen. You thinking, oh, this is the last time. God says, forget about that stuff. Listen, Deuteronomy 8, and remember the Lord that God. When you're going through all these moments, remember who your Father is. Don't you forget it. Watch this. Watch this. It says, for it shall not come near thee. For thou shalt not fear. God has not given us a spirit of fear. That's not him rebuking you. That's him telling you that when fear comes, you don't have to accept it. That don't belong to you. That belong to the devil. Give it back to him. Watch this. Watch this. It says, and that for thou shalt not fear, and from terror. What is that? And from terror? He said, thou shalt be far from oppression and from terror, for it shall not come near thee. In other words, what the text just said, this oppression and terror shall not come near thee. It's got a restraining order from God. It can't come within 20 years of your life. It can't come within 100 million miles of your space. I'm just giving you a picture of what it says. It shall not come near thee. Now watch this. Watch this. That I was just talking to you. The grown-ups that are listening. But listen to this. I want to talk to you grown-ups about your grown-ups that got children. Watch what it says. 13th verse. Go up one verse. This is Isaiah 54, verse number 13. And all thou children. Now remember, all means all. God never meant for us to sacrifice one child for the other child. God never meant for us to, we got enough for him, but we don't got enough for her. We got enough for them too, but they going to be left out. That's not God's plan for your life. This is wealth week. We got to think again. We're thinking on another level. Now watch this. For all thy children shall be taught of the Lord, and great shall be the peace of thou children. In other words, watch this. I'm going to unpack something. God is going to so abundantly supply you that your children are watching. And as God abundantly supplies your life, they are seeing God move upon your life. That's why it's important for them to see this. They've seen the struggle. Now it's time for them to see God bring you out of this struggle. They've seen you cry. Now it's time for them to see you laugh. They've seen the things that they had to suffer through. Now it's time for them to see all of y'all coming out. Every last one of you. Now, here I go. I got to end. For those of you trying to figure out how this is going to happen with what you've been faced with, remember the Lord thou God. He just told you the solution right there. Don't you try to work it out. Let him do what he specializes in. He specializes in moments like this. This is Wealth Week. We're getting this thing kicked off powerfully. Networkers, get ready. Get ready, get ready. And for those of you, anybody else that hear this, get ready, get ready, get ready. It's Wealth Week. It's time for us to walk in God's blessing. Pastor G is out.